Yo, welcome back to another video. It's your boy Corey the man, we back in it. Yeah, we got 4.5k. We went up yesterday. I think yesterday we had 4.4. We made it to 4.5. It's been a while since we made it to 4.5. We was at 4.4 and we went all the way down to 4.1. I had to get all the way back up. I'm just happy. So we're continuing on with some more Power Rangers. Okay, let's get straight into it.
Kira, something weird's happened. And I feel like if I don't tell
This is
someone,
another
a matter of
Trilogy's
time
Power Rangers
before you
history.
turn completely evil.
We're both Rangers.
You're good, I'm evil. It's a pretty simple concept. You're the one losing it, and you're
I
losing
have
it
to
to
go
me.
away. It's not safe to be around me. Like I said, no.
You are here because you love Power Rangers Dino Thunder, and if you're not, I promise you this will be friendly enough for you to understand. White Thunder is the best trilogy in Power Rangers history. To me. To understand this trilogy, we need to understand Anton Mercer. Mercer is a man that once worked with Tommy Oliver on dinosaur DNA and conducted an experiment that accidentally resulted in him unwillingly morphing into a monster known as Mesogog. Mesogog took over with a plan of returning the Earth to the age of the dinosaurs and turning on Tommy.
Find him. Whatever it takes.
The island they worked on exploded, with Tommy being able to escape but believing Anton Mercer was killed in the blast. Years after Tommy escaped, Mercer turned up again, prompting Tommy to question where he could have been all that time and why he never reached back out.
Experiments we were working on. Some crazy things have been happening.
Look, I'll clear some time next week if that's all right with you. But it's good seeing you again, Tommy. Truly it is.
Mercer's fight against Mesogog is genuinely unsettling. Mesogog can take over whenever he pleases, with Mercer at his mercy during the painful transformation. It doesn't matter where, it doesn't matter when. When it happens, there's a power struggle, to which Mesogog wins 90% of the time.
Dad, are you all right?
Yes. I'm fine.
I also want to mention there's a point early on in which Mercer believes that Mesogog will end his life in some way, and speaks to his son acknowledging that at some point he may be gone.
If anything unforeseen should happen to me, I need to know that the family business will be in good hands. Can you understand that?
Yeah, Dad, I can.
It's a sad story that's written brilliantly. Trent Mercer is Anton Mercer's adopted son. We see Trent early on and are immediately clued in on his future importance.
It's kind of hard to have a musical career when you can't even get anyone to listen to you play.
Well, I was listening and I think you rock.
He appears regularly with the Rangers as a friend, and his interactions with his father are given a good amount of screen time. Mesogog's henchmen, Zeltrax and Elsa, locate a dino gem unknown to the Rangers and retrieve it per their master's orders. We know that any dino gem can be engineered into a morpher through the right technology to harness its full energy, meaning it's only safe to assume Mesogog is intending on doing the same thing. Fight fire with fire. However, we never explicitly hear what will be done with the morpher they create through it, and it's possible Mesogog could have utilized it himself to take on the Power Rangers personally.
So is this good news or bad news?
Guess that depends on who's got the gem.
Trent over time speculates more and more that strange things are happening around the house, eventually noticing his father enter an invisiportal, deciding to do the same not long after. Upon discovering the secret lab of his monstrous father, he comes across the dino gem that had been worked on by Zeltrax and Elsa. The gem forcefully attaches itself to him, becoming the Drago Morpher. We quickly find out that the Morpher in some way was manipulated into controlling its user in the most evil ways imaginable. Back in the city, the Rangers are called to tend to a situation involving a monster roaming around. Turns out this monster was not out to cause havoc, but instead looking for the Morpher that went missing. Mesogog's henchmen were in deep trouble. Not only had they lost track of the most important relic instrumental to Mesogog's reign, but now it was in the hands of an unknown being, creating an extra problem that they all now have to deal with. A white figure takes out the monster with ease, appearing to Connor, Kira, and Ethan as the White Ranger.
This is a ministry of ungentlemanly warfare.
The good, the bad, the ungentlemanly.
Try to have fun.
The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, April 19th.
That nostalgia. Maybe Mighty Morphin 2. In space.
And how come he gets the fat helmet?
This results in one of the most brutal beatdowns in the series. Relentlessly, the Rangers are thrashed, with even Dr. O needing to step in before they went too far, as he himself is unsure of the ramifications of destroying the White Ranger. He's a massive threat, however, he's a Power Ranger, meaning that there's a human behind the mask, one whose identity is unknown. You can destroy him, but this by proxy pushes the risk of killing the user. The White Ranger takes them out one by one, leaving them battered before disappearing.
You've been warned, Power Rangers. Stay out of my way, or be destroyed.
Trent is in no control of his mind, movements, nor the morph into the White Ranger. The White Ranger can take over whenever it pleases, with Trent at its mercy during the painful transformation. It doesn't matter when, it doesn't matter where, when it happens there's a power struggle, to which the White Ranger wins 90% of the time. What I love most about this is the fear. Connor, Kira, and Ethan seem actually distraught, unsure of their next move, as this is something they've never had to deal with. Now on top of the looming presence of Mesogog, who unbeknownst to them is just as frustrated as they are.
Somewhere out there is my future. The future of the two of you. And right now, none of them looks very bright.
Along the way, the White Ranger begins developing a dinosaur egg of his own, one that would eventually hatch into the Dragozord.
Well, what do you think? If you're gonna wear the suit, you gotta have the sword, right?
Similar to their fight on foot, the Dragozord tears into the Rangers after having stolen the Stegozord, creating a new Megazord all of its own. Dr. O manages to break them away, causing the White Ranger to flee, leaving the heroes to once again regain their thoughts as to what exactly is going on, and further speculate as to who they're really up against. It's hard to put into words just how real this next scene is. Connor is at soccer practice when he notices Trent sitting on a bench, appearing somewhat incapacitated. Just watch.
No offense, dude, but you don't look fine.
I'm just taking a rest.
Maybe I should call your dad or something?
No, don't! Just leave me alone.
We don't know the extent of what the Morpher is doing to Trent's physical state outside of the visual aspect. Bags under his eyes, blurry vision, stumbling around and struggling to keep his composure, but only when the White Ranger is absent. It's kind of frightening. Connor follows Trent to check back up with him, and surprise, surprise, the White Ranger ambushes him from behind. During their battle, the White Ranger takes the upper hand, leading Connor to call for backup. Something takes hold inside Connor, prompting him to initiate Super Dino Mode for the first time. There's something so satisfying about the ever-looming threat of a new Ranger. They're so overwhelming to the point that Connor's inner rage causes him to find and pull out any ounce of untapped strength just to figure out a new method of defeating them.
Whoa! Looks like I tapped into a whole new level of power!
This power doesn't last long as the White Ranger goes in for a finisher before being halted by Mesogog and Zeltrax. There's no scarier feeling than seeing the main villain outside and away from their main chamber. Like, there's no telling what's gonna go down.
Do not speak unless spoken to.
Here we see Mesogog attempting to break a deal to destroy the Rangers, ultimately being told that the White Ranger follows his own rules and fleeing. The trilogy ends with Dr. O in a warehouse to retrieve a fossil finder left by Connor and Kira, to be met with Trent stumbling around. In an attempt to get him to safety, he ends up locked into a battle with the White Ranger.
Never would have seen that coming.
Fight or perish, Black Ranger.
Now knowing his identity, Dr. O immediately rings up Haley, but before being able to spill the details, the White Ranger activates the fossil finder, imprisoning Tommy in amber.
Let's keep this our little secret.
This guy again?
Pops! Hey, son, you got a little something on your face.
Needed a quick shave.
Quick shave?
The episode directly succeeding this trilogy is Truth and Consequences. While this episode of course isn't the end of the White Ranger's story, I consider it the true ending to the White Thunder section of Dino Thunder. Trent's lack of control leads him into yet another fight with the Dino Rangers, but this time ending in defeat, as they're each able to bring out Super Dino mode to take the upper hand. The White Ranger lets his guard down after Trent is able to recognize Kira during the battle.
Kira?
Later in the day, he confides in Kira who he really is, but stresses that he's entirely at the gem's mercy. Neither Connor nor Ethan are able to put up with his information, believing Trent is lying about his condition due to the severity of his havoc against the city. Elsa is able to locate Trent unmorphed and bring him to Mesogog's lair, where Mesogog recognizes him as Mercer's son for the first time. The episode ends with Trent refusing Kira's attempt to help, as he feels his grip on the White Ranger is weakening by the day. Considering himself a threat, we cap off with a shot of the White Ranger drawing he left floating in the water. What I love most about this is just how much is happening outside of the base story. Cassidy and Devon throughout have a storyline in which they're trying to capture footage of the White Ranger's true identity for a news story and predictably get tripped up time and time again. They're my favorite duo, I'm so serious.
Tell me she didn't.
Ew, is she having a baby?
Yeah, my sister.
Mesogog's presence can be very unsettling, almost at times making you feel as though you need to leave the room.
Shall we bring him to you?
You have not been paying attention, Zeltrax. It will take an army of the likes of you to accomplish that.
His patience with Elsa and Zeltrax runs extremely thin as they continuously lose track of the White Ranger. Seeing his frustration grow stronger can actually get pretty tense. Connor and Ethan have a brotherly bond that develops through this three-parter, and they're often seen tending to each other's aid or hanging out together, and it's really nice to see.
Just so you know, good guys do not wear white.
Tommy lends his knowledge and even his unsureness on how to handle an evil ranger, knowing his past history of having been one himself. He knows it isn't easy, and seeing him having to deal with it from the opposite end this time is fascinating to watch.
It wasn't supposed to go this way. Was it? An evil White Ranger? No. Of course it's been known to happen.
Kira and Trent have a subtle romance going on that influences Trent into telling her the truth before anyone else. It's heartwarming and heartbreaking at the same time.
You? But you almost annihilated me.
But I didn't. Look, once I knew it was you...
Let go of me!
Everyone's situation is integral to each piece of the story, as any mistake could jeopardize everyone's operation. If Cassidy and Devon videotape Trent as the White Ranger, not only would Mesogog be after him early, but maybe even some sort of police force. This would also speed up the investigation into the identities of the Dino Rangers, not to mention the city possibly turning on each of the Power Rangers not sure who to trust. With Tommy out of the picture at the end, it's up to Connor, Kira, Ethan, and Haley to navigate Mesogog's forces alone, alongside knowing a person that they go to school with and see every single day not only knows that they are the Power Rangers, but that he himself can morph into the White Ranger at any point, unprompted. Trent is left in a battle exactly similar to that of his adopted father, stuck in a loop, losing control day after day, forced to fight, forced to lie, and forced to deal with it all with the notion of one day possibly being gone forever. White Thunder is ridiculously well written and carries a tone unlike anything that came before or after it in Dino Thunder. There's a reason the White Ranger is the favorite of many. His story is unmatched, a story reminiscent of Green with Evil from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, but serving as an evolution from it. White Thunder is a trilogy like no other. It continues to flow perfectly if one were to watch it on its own, even without the rest of the series. Again, although this isn't the end of the White Ranger story and it continues throughout the entirety of the show, White Thunder sticks out tremendously. There's so much going on throughout that keeps you on your seat no matter what's going on and which part you're watching. At the time of this recording, it's currently the 20th anniversary of Power Rangers Dino Thunder, and White Thunder serves the test of time. Who do you trust?
When this opens, there will only be one color left in the rainbow.
Alicia, Andrew, Austin, Brandon, Katie, Disney Captain.
Alright. Thank y'all for watching. I'm gonna see y'all in the next video.